And the fact that you're going to jury trial and you weren't given the trial prior to that is simply because, and the reason why you don't want that is because, well, the jury can be selected and it could be people that are, like you said in an article, I think I read, spies or...
Oh, you've done so much work. That's right. I mean, because this is one of the things that I know, again, because of the insight I have being a high-up military lawyer in Special Forces. I know what they can do to someone, and this is why Bernard Cleary and I had such a hard time. We're classified not as defendants, we're classified as national security threats. So that means they can bug our phones, they can set us up with people, they can meet, people can meet us in cafes who are actually agents, and I believe that I was trying to get talked into sort of armed revolution by someone who was actually a government agent. They can do things that to us that they could do to an Al-Qaeda operative trying to blow up the Harbour Bridge, in that they can follow you and stalk you and actually guide you in certain ways. Yeah, they could play the national security card, and they could get agents on the jury. They can stop any evidence going in which could help me and only let evidence go in that helps them. And they think that that's actually, they think that they're protecting democracy, but it's outrageous. But that's why I think I will certainly be convicted now, even though before I thought I would certainly win. I believe even more than any other whistleblower, I think they're out to get me because I've been so outspoken, because I've been so critical, and because I've been so critical of the war effort and all the things that I've said to you today, that I think we're walking into a war with China. They hate that. They hate that. And so it's become a bit like Julian Assange. It's become personal. Yeah. And they are not going to stop. It's got nothing to do with it. I'm obviously not a security threat. I only spoke to some very trusted ABC journalists. I could have easily gone to the Chinese or the Russians or someone. Didn't do that. I'm clearly not a security threat, but it's a revenge match, and they want revenge, and they will do whatever it takes to put me in jail. As I said, the one thing that really confounds them is that I walked into jail with my head held high and say, you haven't beaten me. I will show you that I'm a superior person by going to jail and knowing I'm right and not taking a backward step. And they hate that. They will hate that, and they will do everything they can not to let that happen, because that is so beyond their realm of their understanding that anyone would believe in something so much that they would go to jail and not cower. They were hoping I'd plead guilty years ago. Cower and say, oh, please don't put me in jail. Please, I'll do anything you want. I'll say anything you want, because that's what they would do. Yeah. And they hate to see someone. I mean, I'm not that I'm special. God, look at I learned from the Afghans, and I learned that, there are people, very, very proud people, and walk to their deaths, and they think of that shepherd boy and the parents looking for him and probably getting shot themselves. I mean, there are plenty of people in the past who have, walked bravely to the gallows, and not just me, but they inspire me. And unfortunately, we don't. As I said, this is why I look to Afghanistan, a country where they haven't lost the idea of honour, they haven't lost the idea of heart, they haven't lost the idea of you judge people by, you treat people as guests until you've otherwise, and you judge people on what you see of them rather than what you're told to think. And I love that. I'm inspired by people who translated the Bible into English, and the person that first did that, he was murdered by the state simply for doing that, and that's just disgusting. And then apparently, I think as little as 2 years later, Tyndall's version of the Bible suddenly became the standard version, but not before they killed him. And so people need to remember that things haven't changed that much, and just because you work for the government and you think you're right, you may be on the wrong side. I have to stand up and be counted, but maybe that will make people change their minds. But it's they kind of hate that. They hate that anyone can stand up to them, and as I said, it can only be a revenge thing, because it clearly makes no sense that revelations about a murder on a hillside in Oregon in 2012 can actually be national security information. Like, it's not the code to the missiles on the yet to be built subs. It's not some sort of a agent's name in a country we're fighting. They try to claim all these things. It's just embarrassment.
Yes, yeah.
And the average person knows that. To say, really, average person is very patriotic, and the average person thinks, oh, well, if the government says something, it's probably true. But I'm here to tell them that that's not the case anymore. It might have been the case once, but now we are out for revenge. It's clearly there's nothing. The idea that even my expert witnesses, one of them was a professor.
Yeah, couldn't talk, wasn't allowed to talk.
Yeah, how could that be? How could that be national security information? It's just these people have got out of control, and it's revenge. They will do everything they possibly can. In fact, some days I'm surprised I'm still alive.
Oh, don't say that, David.
To put me down.